Listen to me carefully. This is not a coincidence that you're hearing this right now. Something is shifting in the spirit, and the very thing that once made you cry is about to make you testify. The doors that stayed closed, the prayers that felt unanswered, the nights you thought God forgot you. He was preparing a miracle so powerful, so undeniable, that when it happens, even the people who doubted you will have to say, only God could have done that. There are seasons in life when waiting feels unbearable. You pray, you hope, and you believe with all your heart, yet nothing seems to change. Days turn into weeks and weeks into months, and you begin to wonder if your prayers were even heard. In those quiet moments, doubt tries to whisper that maybe God has forgotten you. But the truth is, God never wastes a waiting season. What feels like delay to you is often divine preparation, happening in ways you cannot yet see. Waiting seasons are uncomfortable because we live in a world that celebrates instant results. We want answers immediately, breakthroughs quickly, and miracles right away. But God often works in a different rhythm. While you are waiting, He is shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing your heart for what is coming next. The waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. The silence is not abandonment, it is construction happening behind the scenes. Think about how many great things in life require time before they appear. A seed must stay hidden in the soil before it becomes a tree. A diamond must endure pressure before it shines. In the same way, your miracle may be forming in a place where you cannot see it yet. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean nothing is happening. God is working in ways that go beyond your understanding. During these seasons, it is easy to focus on what has not happened yet. You may look at closed doors and unanswered prayers and feel discouraged, but sometimes those closed doors are actually protection. Sometimes the delay is saving you from something that was not meant for you. God sees the entire picture, while we only see a small part of the journey. What feels like a setback may actually be a setup for something greater. The waiting season also teaches patience and trust. It teaches you how to keep believing even when evidence is not visible. Faith grows strongest in moments when you have to hold on without seeing the outcome. And when the miracle finally arrives, you will realize that every moment of waiting had a purpose. One day you will look back and understand why the process took time. You will see that the waiting shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the blessing that was coming. The miracle will feel even more powerful because you know what it took to hold on during the silence. So if you are in a season where nothing seems to be moving, do not lose heart. Your waiting is not empty. Your prayers are not ignored. God is still writing your story, and the chapter you are in right now is building towards something you will one day be grateful for. The waiting season is not wasted. It is the place where miracles quietly begin. There are moments in life when everything around you feels uncertain. You pray, you hope, and you try to stay strong, yet the situation in front of you doesn't seem to change. It can feel like nothing is happening, but just because you cannot see movement does not mean God is not working. One of the most powerful truths to remember is that God often does His greatest work behind the scenes. Life only allows us to see a small portion of what is really happening. We see the problems, the closed doors, and the unanswered questions, but God sees the entire picture. While you are focused on today's struggle, He is already arranging tomorrow's breakthrough. There are conversations happening, opportunities forming, and circumstances shifting in ways that you may never notice until the miracle finally appears. Think about a movie being produced. Before the audience ever sees the final film, there are months or even years of work happening behind the scenes. Scripts are written, scenes are filmed, mistakes are corrected, and everything is carefully arranged so that when the movie is finally released, it tells a powerful story. In the same way, God is directing the scenes of your life. Even when it looks quiet on the surface, the story is still being prepared. Sometimes we become discouraged because we expect miracles to happen instantly. We want to see immediate results that prove something is changing. But many miracles begin in places we cannot see. God may be aligning the right people, opening the right opportunities, and removing obstacles before the blessing ever reaches you. If everything happened instantly, you might not even recognize how perfectly it was arranged. There are times when God is also protecting you while working behind the scenes. What you thought was a missed opportunity might actually be a redirection towards something better. What looked like rejection could be God closing a door that was not meant for your future. When you trust that God is working beyond what your eyes can see, it becomes easier to stay patient and hopeful during difficult seasons. Faith grows strongest when you believe even without visible evidence. Anyone can believe when the miracle is already in front of them. But real faith is trusting that God is still moving when the path looks unclear. Every prayer you whisper, every moment you choose hope instead of fear, strengthens your connection with the plan that God is unfolding. And one day, when everything finally comes together, you will realize that the pieces were being arranged all along. The timing will make sense. The connections will surprise you. The breakthrough will feel even more powerful because you will understand that it did not happen by accident. It was the result of quiet, careful work happening in places you could not see. So when life feels still and progress seems invisible, remind yourself that silence does not mean inactivity. God is still working. He is preparing something greater than you can imagine. Even when the stage looks empty, the miracle is already being set in motion behind the curtain, waiting for the perfect moment to appear. Pain is something no one willingly asks for, yet it becomes a part of almost every life journey. There are moments when the hurt feels overwhelming, when disappointment, betrayal, loss, or failure leaves you wondering why you had to go through it. In those moments, it is easy to believe that the pain has no purpose, but often the very struggles that break your heart are the same experiences that shape your future and reveal a deeper meaning for your life. Pain has a way of changing people. It forces you to look deeper within yourself and confront parts of your life that you may have ignored before. While comfort often keeps us in the same place, difficulty pushes us to grow. Through challenges, your strength is tested and your character is refined. What once felt like a burden slowly begins to transform into a lesson that shapes who you are becoming. Many of the most inspiring stories begin with struggle. The people who make the greatest impact are often those who have walked through hardship and refused to give up. Their pain becomes the foundation of their purpose because it gives them a deeper understanding of others who are going through similar battles. When you have experienced darkness, you develop the ability to recognize someone else's pain and offer them hope. Sometimes the purpose behind your pain is not immediately clear. While you are going through it, everything may feel confusing and unfair. You may question why certain events happened or why certain people entered and left your life. But time has a way of revealing meaning that was hidden during the difficult moments. The experiences that once felt like obstacles can later become the very things that guide you toward your calling. Pain also teaches resilience. When you face challenges and continue moving forward, you discover a strength you never realized you had. Each time you overcome a difficult season, your confidence grows. You begin to understand that even when life becomes heavy, you have the ability to endure and rise again. That strength becomes part of the purpose you carry with you. Another powerful aspect of pain is that it often prepares you to help others. The wisdom you gain from your struggles becomes valuable when someone else is facing a similar situation. Your story can bring comfort to someone who feels alone. Your journey can remind them that difficult seasons do not last forever and that healing and transformation are possible. One day, when you look back at the challenges you once feared would break you, you may realize they were shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The tears you cried were not meaningless, and the lessons you learned were not wasted. Instead, they became part of a larger purpose that is still unfolding. The struggles you face today may feel heavy, but they are not the end of your story. Often, they are simply the beginning of a new chapter where pain turns into growth, growth turns into strength, and strength eventually becomes the purpose that guides your life forward. In time, what once hurt you may become the very thing that helps you bring light and hope to others. Faith is often spoken about as if it is easy, but true faith is usually born in difficult moments. It appears when circumstances seem uncertain and when the outcome is not clear. Anyone can feel confident when everything is going well, but faith becomes powerful when you choose to believe even while standing in the middle of doubt, fear, or delay. It is the quiet decision in your heart that says you will keep trusting that something good is possible, even when you cannot yet see it. Many people think miracles only happen when everything suddenly changes overnight, but in many cases, miracles begin long before the visible breakthrough appears. They start with a small spark of belief inside a person who refuses to give up hope. Faith becomes the key that opens the door to possibilities that once seemed impossible. It shifts the way you see your situation and allows you to move forward even when the path is not fully clear. When you have faith, you stop focusing only on the limitations around you. Instead of being being controlled by fear or discouragement, you begin to focus on what could be rather than what currently is. This mindset creates strength during hard seasons. Instead of quitting when challenges appear, faith helps you hold on longer, try again, and keep believing that change can happen. Faith also changes the way you handle setbacks. Instead of seeing every obstacle as a sign that things will never work out, you start to see challenges as temporary moments in a much bigger journey. Difficult situations may slow you down, but they do not have to destroy your hope. Faith reminds you that what looks impossible today may become the very testimony you celebrate tomorrow. Another powerful part of faith is that it encourages action. Believing in something greater does not mean simply waiting without effort. Faith gives you courage to continue taking steps forward even when you feel uncertain. It helps you keep praying, keep working, and keep believing that the effort you are making will eventually lead somewhere meaningful. Throughout life, there will always be moments when doubt tries to take control. You may hear voices around you saying that your dreams are unrealistic or that your situation will never change. But faith reminds you that your story is still being written. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it never will. Often the greatest breakthroughs happen after the longest seasons of believing. Faith also strengthens your inner peace. When you truly trust that something greater is guiding your path, you begin to release some of the worry and pressure that comes from trying to control everything yourself. Instead of being overwhelmed by uncertainty, you learn to move forward with confidence that every step is part of a bigger plan. In many ways, faith acts like a light during dark seasons. It does not always remove the challenges immediately, but it gives you the strength to keep walking until the light becomes brighter. Over time, that steady belief opens the door for transformation, growth, and the miracles that once felt far away. Faith may begin as a small decision to trust, but it often becomes the key that unlocks extraordinary change. Every person goes through moments in life that test their strength and patience. There are seasons when the road feels heavy, when prayers seem unanswered, and when it appears that nothing is changing. During those times, it can feel like your struggles are happening in silence. But the truth is that the challenges you overcome often become the most powerful parts of your story. One day, the very journey that once made you question everything may become the testimony that inspires someone else to keep going. A testimony is more than just a story about success. It is the honest journey of how someone moved from difficulty to growth, from confusion to clarity, and from pain to purpose. When people hear a testimony, they are not only hearing about the victory, they are hearing about the perseverance that made the victory possible. Your struggles, your patience, and your determination all become meaningful pieces of a story that others can learn from. Many people feel alone in their problems. They look around and believe that everyone else has life figured out while they are the only ones facing difficulties. But when someone bravely shares their story, it reminds others that they are not alone. Your experience can bring comfort to someone who is going through the same kind of struggle. Your journey can help them realize that hard seasons do not last forever and that change is always possible. Sometimes the impact of your story reaches people you may never even meet. Words of encouragement, shared experiences, or simple honesty about your path can give others the strength to keep believing in themselves. When someone sees that you faced obstacles and still found a way to rise, it helps them believe that they can do the same in their own lives. Your testimony also carries a sense of hope. It shows that growth and transformation are real. When people witness a life that has moved from hardship to healing, they begin to understand that difficult circumstances do not have to define the future. Instead, those experiences can become the foundation for wisdom, compassion, and strength. There is also something powerful about recognizing how far you have come. Looking back at your own journey allows you to see progress that may have been invisible while you were living through the difficult moments. What once felt like endless struggle may now appear as a chapter that shaped you into someone stronger and more understanding. Sharing your story does not require perfection. In fact, it is often the imperfections that make a testimony relatable. People connect more deeply with honesty than with flawless images of success. When you speak openly about the lessons you learned and the challenges you faced, it creates a genuine connection with those who are listening. Your life story has the potential to be a light for others who are walking through dark moments. The strength you gained, the patience you practiced, and the hope you held on to can all become encouragement for someone else. What you once thought was just a personal struggle may turn into a powerful reminder that perseverance, faith, and courage can lead to a future that once seemed impossible.